Reading files is one of the first real-world tasks every Python programmer faces. Whether it's a config file, a dataset, or a system log, you need to know how to handle files properly. So, welcome to the coding world. Most beginners use Open as they thought in school, college, or other YouTube videos, but most of the beginners thinks that if it is works so, that is right way. But yeah, that works. But it is correct way when you 100% sure you don't have any error in your code. If you once gone to complex coding, you will never be sure your code don't have any error, and you use Open for it, it will be headache for you. But do you know why I am saying that? As you are beginner, and if you use Open for reading files, and suddenly an error comes, you think that all is normal, but nothing is normal if error comes before the closing file, which can lead to memory leaks or even locked files. In this video, I'll show you how to read files in Python the right way. Okay, this is the basic way to open and read a file in Python. We call open with the file path, and this R mode, which stands for read mode. Then we call read to get the contents, and finally we close the file. It works, but it's risky. If an exception occurs between read and close, the file may never close. That can cause memory leaks or locked resources, as I said before. Here's the better way, using a with statement. This is called a context manager. The with block automatically opens the file, assigns it to file, and when the block ends, it automatically closes the file, even if there's an error. This is cleaner, safer, and more Pythonic. Once the file is open, Python gives you a few ways to read content. Here's it is. File.read loads the entire file into a single string. Now start note my every single words. It is only used for small files, not for large database or any other file that have large amount of data. File.readline reads just one line at a time, useful when you need to process line by line. File.readlines returns all lines in a list, handy for iteration, but not great for very large files. So, I caught a question in your mind. What for large files or database? So, here's the answer. This is the most efficient way to read large files, using a for loop directly on the file object. This reads one line at a time, without loading the whole file into memory, perfect for logs or large data files. Let's apply this in a real-world use case, reading a system log and filtering out only the error lines. This reads each line, checks if it contains the word error, and prints it. Simple, clean, and memory efficient. Let's try to run it. It is log.txt. First of all, Python reads logs.txt. Line by line, here, we set a loop by executing this. Every single line that contains error word that will be printed. Want to go further? You can write your own context managers. Here's one that opens a file and converts every line to uppercase before reading it. Lib context manager, which lets you define your own with style blocks using a generator function. Let's try to run it. It is data.txt file. Now run the code over this file and see what is output. Here is the output. All the characters are converted to the uppercase. To recap, always use with open instead of manually calling close. Choose the right method. Read for small files, for line in file for large ones, and readline or readlines if you're reading structured input. File I/O is one of the most common tasks in Python, and knowing how to do it right sets you apart from beginners. If you found this helpful, drop a like and subscribe for more clean, modern Python tutorials.